How you doing? This is John Bernard from B.A.C.E Foundation. Hope you're well and hope you're keeping safe. Here at B.A.C.E Foundation, we're focused on pushing you towards a journey of self-discovery so you can unravel the potential inside you and therefore create the right habits that will enable you to live a purposeful life and leave the right legacy. It's been a very trying time with what's happened in America, the unquestionable murder of George Floyd. It's sad that we're still in this position, we're still seeing these things, and we're still having to fight against a system that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. It has been great to see so many people out there rallying and peacefully protesting and demonstrating the importance of solidarity and unity in these times. It's sad, but change will never happen until we continue to stand in solidarity and continue to, push a better narrative and continue to, use our voices to raise awareness. As an organization, we stand wholeheartedly with the Black Lives Matter movement, and we pray for a change. We pray for a new day, and we just want to continue to encourage everyone to stay safe, to use your voice, to use your platform, to encourage, to empower, and to push for change, to really rally against, systemic oppression and racism. We just wanted to share our thoughts before we commence with this video. Let's continue fighting a good fight. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of The Fact That It's Wednesday. We are back to bring you some midweek motivation, followed by some empowertry, which is simply poetry to empower you. We've got a knockout session today, which will definitely encourage you and empower you. So, the fact that it's Wednesday should encourage you to have Fury's fight. Let's go. In 2015, Tyson Fury surprised the boxing world by outboxing and defeating probably one of the greatest boxers of our generation, Vladimir Klitschko. Now, the Gypsy King reached the pinnacle of the boxing world by becoming a heavyweight champion of the world, and it was such a beautiful moment for British boxing history. However, the victory was short-lived, as months after the successful moment of becoming champion, Tyson Fury really struggled and descended into a dark place where he was battling his mental health, battling addiction, and he left boxing and he came to this point in time where he had suicidal thoughts and he was about to commit suicide. The former heavyweight champion was now 27 stones and far from the person and the boxer that he was just a few months ago. But a moment arose where he decided to fight for his family, to fight for his life, and to fight on the behalf of people who were looking up to him as a champion. 3 years later, Fury managed to get himself back into the ring, and he was finally fit, ready to box, and was now facing another hefty challenge, and that challenge was to be in a ring with Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder at the time was undefeated, about 40 fights in, with majority of those fights being KOs. He was a beast in the ring with a powerful right hand. Fury showcased what it meant to fight with every inch of your being. He showcased what it meant to be brave and courageous. And I'm not a major boxing fan myself, but what he did on the 12th round was just magical. On the 12th round, Wilder gave Fury his famous right hand, which normally ends fights straight away. And Wilder knew that he had connected, and he knew that there's no coming back from this punch. However, Fury got right back up. After a few seconds of being down, he got right back up. You can imagine what was going through Wilder's mind when Fury just came back up and was ready to finish the fight in champion form. That very moment, he won the hearts of boxing fans across the world. People always talk about giving it your all, but that moment, Tyson Fury epitomized exactly what that meant. And the fight was controversially a draw, but for Fury, it was a victory for everyone who's had to fight to come out of a dark place, and he showed the possibilities of what could happen if we just fight. It was such an incredible moment, and there are so many things we could probably take from each of the fighters and how they went to war that day. But one thing I want us to take from this situation is courage. Courage can be defined as standing up to what has scared you. You know, facing your fears is such a scary thing sometimes, and you need to be courageous, you need to be brave to stand face to face with what has scared you for a long time. There are 3 key points I want us to take from Tyson Fury's journey, and especially his fight with Deontay Wilder. The first key point is, to be courageous, you need to highlight the fears that are restricting your progression. There's going to be that voice that says to you, you can't do this, this is impossible. The voice that will tell you to quit, that there aren't any options, there aren't any solutions. Fury faced depression, he had to come face to face with his addictions, and he had to decide if he was willing to go to war with those fears. And your fears will also ask you to go to war. They'll stand before you face to face and tell you, are you ready to face us? Now, what you need to understand is the courage here is not in the ultimate victory of winning the war completely, but it's in the decision of making a choice to face the fear to begin with. That's what the courage is. Deciding to make the first steps towards being free, and that first step is looking fear back in the eye and saying, yeah, I'm ready for war. Second point I want to highlight is, in order to be courageous, you need to bring to mind people who are inspired by you. Now, whether you're a renowned fighter like Fury or you're still on a come up, there are people in your life that are inspired by you and what you do every single day. Now, that could be a sibling, that could be a parent, that could be a neighbor, that could be a teacher. J.K. Rowling, author of probably most people's favorite childhood book series, Harry Potter, before becoming successful, faced so many challenges. She faced bereavement, divorce, depression, unemployment, rejection, being a single parent, all these things while still having that vision of being a renowned author. And she could have given up at any given point, but she understood that if she gave up, she was not only giving up on herself and her dream, but she was also giving up on her daughter. She brought to mind somebody that was looking to her for inspiration, and she used that to summon the courage to continue. The last point I want to raise from Tyson Fury's journey is, fear will always tell you that it's over, that you are done, there's no getting up from the situation. But courage will always tell you to wake up. We're not born courageous, but we are born with the potential of tuning into courage. The 12th round of a boxing match is a deadly one. This is where boxers give it their all. This is where you try to knock your opponent out. This is where you try to gain as many points as you can. Fury was knocked out cold on the 12th round by Wilder, and most boxers would have surrendered. It takes what people call bravery, what people call courage, what people call heart, to stand back up and look fear in the eye and say, it's not over till I say so. And that's the type of courage we need when we're facing our fears. I don't know how your 12th round looks like or who you're in the ring with. Wilder was undefeated, about 39 KOs in, and Tyson Fury had never faced such an opponent with a fierce knockout power. But he went in immersed in bravery and was willing to give it his all. Your opponent might be depression. Your opponent might be peer pressure. Your opponent might be rejection. Your opponent might be fear of people. Your opponent might be fear of speaking. Your opponent might be addiction. I need you to tell that fear, I need you to tell your opponent, is that all you got? You've knocked me down before, is that all you got? It's the 12th round. Yes, you're tired. Yes, you're disheartened. Yes, you feel like giving up. Yes, it hurts. But take heart and get up, because there's no freedom without courage and there's no victory without bravery. At Tyson Fury's 12th round, people will forget how you were put down, but they'll never forget. They will always remember how you rose back up. Nelson Mandela put it this way: courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave person is not he or she that does not feel afraid, but those who are able to conquer that fear. So today, I encourage you to be brave. I encourage you to be courageous. I encourage you to take heart. I encourage you to stand against your fears and start making the steps towards freedom. How long are you going to allow those fears to dictate how you live and to dictate how you feel? It's about time you stand up to those fears and you look them in the eye and say, I'm ready to go 12 rounds with you. I'm not about to lose. Remember, no one's born courageous, but we all have the potential of tuning into courage. Until next time, fight the good fight. Thank you for watching and enjoy the Empower Tree. I was warned early that no one can buy you heart. No one can jumpstart your courage into tiny sparks and evoke a sense of bravery to face the fears that ignite your past. My 12th round was dark. My opponent was years of self-hatred that I couldn't place at the back like Rosa Parks. I was forced to the ropes and the blows were ferocious, thrown with the intent to lay me flat like an open palm. Every hit led to an open scar. The wounds began to gape and I felt my spirit escape into the realm of gazing stars. But I grew up facing odds. Even when they wrote me off, I held up my fist and charged. I was built to disarm fear and consider tears as sweet refreshments to help me march. So I don't care if you knock me down, it's not how many times I fall, but how many times I get back up. I'm fed up of being afraid of you. I'm fed up of you being my main excuse of not moving forward. So that's why today I'm facing you. And yes, it may be true that you have knocked out many in the past, but they weren't me. So today I'm here to show you what the process has turned me into. A fighter.